And we're going to be doing Unit 3, Notes 6. So we're going to kind of take the stuff we've been doing for the past couple of days and combine it all together, review it a little bit, and make sure we all understand it before we move forward. So let's go ahead and let's just talk about a little bit of a review about the stuff we've been doing the past 2 days. So talking about what we did yesterday. So if you remember yesterday, we took and we distributed each of those in. So we took 2x and we multiplied that by x squared. We took 2x and we multiplied that by negative 3x, and we took 2x and we multiplied that by 10. So now we can take and multiply each of these together. 2 times 2 is 4. Oops, sorry. Whoops, I jumped a term. Alright, so here we have 2 times 1 is 2. X to the first times x squared is x cubed. Then 2 times a negative 3 is a negative 6. X to the first times x to the first is x squared. 2 times 10 is 20, and then we'll keep the x there. So 2x cubed minus 6x squared plus 10x is our final answer. It's already in standard form. Our exponents are going in descending order. Alright, let's take a look at number 2. So for number 2, again, we're going to be multiplying that in. So we're taking negative 3x squared and we're going to multiply it to each of those terms. Okay, so we're going to take negative 3x squared and multiply that times 5x squared. Then we're going to add our next term, which is negative 3x squared, and we're going to multiply that times negative x. And then we're going to take negative 3x squared and we're going to multiply that by 2. So now we need to take and multiply these together. So we have negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. X squared times x squared, add those exponents, you get x to the 4th. Negative 3 times negative 1 is just going to be 3. X squared times x to the first, add those exponents, and you get x cubed. Negative 3 times 2 is going to be negative 6, and then we're going to keep that as x squared. Since our exponents are going in descending order, our answer is in standard form. All our like terms are also combined. So let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about today. So simplifying these expressions. So it's going to be a lot of what we did yesterday. You need to distribute the monomial into each term in the polynomial. Multiply each pair of monomials like we were doing, but the biggest thing today is that you're going to actually have to make sure that you're adding those like terms, because we're going to be having a couple polynomials in each thing that we're doing. And lastly, we need to put our answer in standard form. So let's take a look at number 3. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a look and I'm going to distribute the 2 and I'm going to distribute the 3. So I'm taking 2 times x and 2 times 3. So the 2 only gets distributed into the first parenthesis. Likewise, the 3 only gets distributed into the second parenthesis. So then I have, when I simplify this out, 2x plus 6 plus 3x minus 3. Well, now I need to combine like terms. So I'm going to take 2x plus 3x, that's going to give me 5x. 6 minus 3 is going to give me a positive 3. So 5x plus 3 is the final answer. Okay? Getting rid of that. Alright, next, let's take a look at this next one. So we're going to go ahead and start by distributing in that x. So we're taking x and distributing it in. So we have x times x plus 4 times x. And then we're taking x and distributing into that second parenthesis, but only to the second parenthesis. So then I have x times x plus x times a negative 2. So let's go and simplify those out. So x times x is x squared, 4 times x is 4x, x times x is x squared, and negative 2 times x is negative 2x. So we have x squared times x, or x squared plus x squared. Now we need to combine those. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. When we take x squared plus x squared, remember back to combining like terms. That's where you add the coefficients and keep the exponent the same. So this is going to become 2x squared. Okay, you're not going to add the exponents here because you're not multiplying. When you're adding, you just keep the exponents the same. Lastly, 4x minus 2x is going to give us 2x. So our final answer for number 4 is 2x squared plus 2x. Let's keep moving forward. So now again, we're going to be distributing some of these in. If you don't need to write it, if you can do some of it in your head, that's fine. I'm just going to do it so that we can see what we're doing. So that 2x is going to be distributed into the 3x and the 5, and then the x is going to be distributed into each of those terms. So I have x times x squared, x times 2x, and x times negative 7. So 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. 2 times 5 is 10. Oops, 10. And then we're going to have x. X to the first times x squared is going to give me x cubed. So all I'm doing right now is simplifying all those monomials. Then x times x is x squared. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. So now I need to put this baby into standard form. So I'm going to start and I see that I have x cubed. So that's going to come first. Then we have 6x squared plus 2x squared. Add your coefficients to get 8. Keep your exponents the same when you're combining like terms. Now I like to cross them off so I can kind of keep track. And then I have 10x minus 7x. Well, that's going to give us 3x. So 10x cubed plus 8x squared plus 3x is our final answer. Let's take a look at number 6. So for number 6, we want to start by taking that 3x and distributing it into the first parenthesis. So we have 3x times x squared plus 3x times a negative 4x plus 3x times 2. And now we're going to take that 2x and distribute it in, plus 2x times x squared plus 2x times 3x plus 2x times a negative 9. So now we're going to go through and we're going to multiply all of those out. So that 3 is going to stay there. X to the first times x squared, add those exponents and you get x cubed. Okay? 3 times 4 for our next term is 12. X to the first times x to the first is x squared. 3 times 2 is 6, and then we're going to keep the x. For the next term, 2x times x squared, that's going to give us 2x cubed. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. 2 times a negative 9 is a negative 18, and then we have our x. So next we need to combine all of our like terms. So my highest exponent is x to the third. I have 3x to the third here and negative 2x to the third here. Or sorry, positive 2x to the third. So I'm going to add 3 plus 2 to get 5. Now when I add like terms, again, I keep my exponent the same. Then I have 12x squared plus 6x squared. That's going to give me 18. And again, I'm going to keep it as x squared when I'm adding. When you multiply, you change the exponents. 6x minus 18x is going to give us a negative 12. And I'm going to keep that as x. So this is in standard form. My exponents are going in descending order. And all of my like terms are combined. Okay, let's move forward. Let's take a look at number 7. So again, we're going to distribute this in and this in. So we have x squared times 2x plus x squared times 7 plus x times 3x cubed plus x times 2x plus x times a negative 1. So now we're going to multiply that in. So we have x squared times 2x. So the 2 is going to stay the same. X squared times x to the first is x cubed. Next, we have x squared times 7. That's going to give us 7x squared. Next, x times 3x cubed. That's going to give us 3x to the fourth. Then we have x times 2x. That's going to give us 2x squared. And x times negative 1 is just going to give us a negative x or a negative 1x. It doesn't matter how you write it. So let's take a look. This is our largest exponent right here. So that needs to come first. So first I have 3x to the fourth. Then my next highest exponent is this, so next I have 2x cubed. That's coming next. Now I have 7x squared plus 2x squared. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add those exponents, or sorry, not add the exponents, add the coefficients and keep the exponent as squared. So that becomes 9x squared, and then I have minus x. So this is your final answer then in standard form. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 8. Maybe. Okay. Gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, huh? Alrighty, so let's take a look at number 8. So for number 8, we want to take and distribute that in, and then take and distribute that in. So first we're going to have x times x plus x times 5. Then I'm going to take that negative 2 and distribute it in, so I'm going to have negative 2x times x plus negative 2x times 3. Well, x times x is going to give me x squared. X times 5 is just going to be 5x. Negative 2x times x is going to give me a negative 2x squared. And then negative 2 times 3 is going to give us a negative 6, and we want to keep our x. So now we need to combine our like terms. So we have x squared minus 2x squared. So that's the same as 1 minus 2, which is going to give us a negative 1, and our x squared is going to stay the same. So I'm just going to write that as negative x squared. Then I have 5x minus 6x, which is just going to give us x. So we have negative x squared minus x as our final answer. Moving forward, let's take a look at number 9. So for number 9, we're going to take that 3x and distribute it to each thing, and then take negative x and distribute it to each thing. So I have 3x times x squared plus 3x times 2x plus 3x times 1 plus, now we're going to go to the second parenthesis, a negative x times 4x and a negative x times 5. So now we want to go through and we want to multiply each of these out. So 3x, so x to the first times x squared, that's going to give us x cubed, and I'm going to keep the 3 there. For the next term, we're going to multiply the coefficients. 3 times 2 is 6. X to the first times x to the first, add those exponents and you get x squared. 3 times 1 is just going to be 3, and then we want to keep that x there. Here we have negative 1 times 4, which is a negative 4. X times x is x squared. Here, negative x times 5 is going to give us a negative 5x. So now we want to combine our like terms. So we have 3x cubed, that's going to come first. Then our x squared, 6x squared minus 4x squared is 2x squared. Cross those off, and then we have 3x minus 5x, which is a negative 2x. So that's your final answer for number 9. Let's take a quick peek. Let's get number 10 set up, and then I'm going to have you guys finish it on your own. So you're going to take that 2x and 2x squared and distribute it in. So you have 2x squared times 3x plus 2x squared times a negative 1. Then we'll take that negative 4x and distribute it in. So negative 4x times 3x, and then a negative 4 times 5. Negative 4x times 5. So I want you to go ahead and multiply that out. I will be checking that you do number 10, but you're going to be doing that one on your own. So let's take a look at this one. So it says a parking garage charges $30 per month, and it's $50 per daytime hour and 25 cents during the nights and weekends. Suppose Juana parks her car in the garage for 47 hours last January, and 8 of those are at night. So we want to figure out her total bill. Well, no matter how much she parks there, she has to pay the $30. Okay, and we know that 8 of them are going to be night and weekends. Well, it's 25 cents per hour for night and weekends. So for every 8 night and weekend hours she spends, it's 25 cents. Now, we don't know how many hours she spends during the day, but that's going to cost us, 50 cents. So there's 47 total hours, and 8 of those are at night. So our daytime hours, we can take our total number of hours and subtract the amounts that are on the night. So now this is our equation set up. So all we have to do is simplify it. So then I get B is equal to, and I'm going to keep this as 30 plus 0.25H. Now I'm taking 0.50 times 47, and that's going to give me 23.5. And then 0.50 minus H, excuse me again, I'm sorry, is 0.5H. So now we need to combine like terms. So first I'm going to combine my H terms for the bill. So I'm going to take 0.25H minus 0.5H. That's going to give me a negative 0.25H. Then I'm going to take 30 plus 23.5, and that's going to give me 53.5. So this right here is the final equation for the bill. So what does that tell us? That says if you know that in January you parked 4 hours over the nights and weekends, then you could just plug in 4 for H, and that would give you your total bill. Alright, so that concludes your note video today. Feel free to show me your completed note sheet. Make sure you do number 10, and I will give you the homework sheet. Thanks for listening.